Is the mic on? In true Quest fashion. Welcome, everyone. Please be seated. Students, faculty, guests of students, Board of Governors, representatives from the District of Squamish and the Squamish First Nation, honored guests and alumni, welcome to the 8th annual graduation ceremony of Quest University, Canada. My name is Andrew Hamilton. I will be your Master of Ceremonies for this event. It is an important event for everyone seated here today. You have all waited at least, some more, but at least 1,932,540 minutes for this moment. While I welcome all of you to memorialize this day with photos and videos, I would like to ask to be courteous of your neighbors who would also like to memorialize this moment for the loved ones that have made them so proud. And while a phone call, text, or tweet, or notification may be very important to you, please put any of those noise-making devices on silent so that the people around you may enjoy these moments. We would like to begin this event by acknowledging the land on which we gather is the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Squamish Nation. Quest University Canada sits on Squamish traditional territory, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work, learn, and live in this blessed territory. In recognition of the importance of this place within which you have called home for 4 or so years, we are pleased to welcome the spokesperson of the Squamish Nation. In addition to being the spokesperson, Deanna Lewis is a council member of the Squamish Nation, a teacher and learner of the Squamish language, and an avid soccer player. Deanna is a strong advocate for both building the Squamish Nation community from within and sharing the deep culture of the Squamish Nation with others. We now have the great pleasure of receiving a small glimpse into the rich cultural and linguistic community that is the Squamish Nation. Let us please welcome Deanna Lewis.
Hot squile Tanoia. Can you say hot squile? Good day to you all. Nethlin Cocklet Quishaman, Deanna Lewis Queensna. Tanachinchla Chiakamis Ochumeo, Skoholmish Oath, Onwanox, Tin Squallowin, Ale Tin Sequetos, Chenkun Mantomi. I said, my ancestral name is Cockalaith. It means the cannibal woman. There's a legend in this area, and it's actually a legend that's told up and down the coast of British Columbia. And in every language, they have a different name for her. And so when I say I'm Cockalaith, they said, you're Squamish. I said, yes. My English name is Deanna Lewis, and I come from the Chiakamis village. It's in the Paradise Valley here. It's one of our father's villages that our people reside in here in the Squamish Valley. And I'm really honored to be here. As Andrew said, I'm a former teacher, but I still feel like I'm teaching. I haven't left. I know a lot of your students here. So I'm really honored to be able to speak on behalf of our nation and our community, that we loved your presence here in our community. I hope most of you stay and also go on to your wonderful lives. I know you guys are going to be true leaders in your own rights. So I want to congratulate all the graduates, sorry. And I wanted to share a song with you. This song is about a journey. And you know, this feels like an ending, but it's really a beginning for you. And so this song is about two spirits coming together as one, but today, many spirits have come here today. Even our ancestors are here with you, and we're all so proud of you. So here's a journey song for you all. Oseam, thank you.
Thank you, Deanna. In addition to sitting on Squamish traditional territory, Quest University sits in the beautiful British Columbia, Canada. We now have the pleasure of welcoming Akasha Long to sing the Canadian National Anthem. Akasha has just finished third year here at Quest University and has been a part of the Quest Choir for each of these 3 years. I welcome you to stand and join for the singing of O Canada if you would like and are able.
O Canada, our home on native land, true patriot love.
Thank you, Acacia. Following this recognition of place, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the people of Quest. There are the faculty sitting behind me, the students sitting before me, the parents, family, and friends of those students behind them. All of these people have played a critical role in this event. But there are many who are neither on this stage nor seated in front of me. They are the staff here at Quest. They are often the first people our students see on this campus, and they shape the student experience for the remainder of their time here. If you thought we looked organized as we walked in a few minutes ago, it's because they told us where to go. It's not the first time. Please join me in thanking all of the staff at Quest University for all they do to set the stage for the teaching and learning environment we've all enjoyed. Thank you. It was about a week before the beginning of this, your last academic year here at Quest, that George Iwama stepped into the office of President of Quest University Canada. So if you think your last year here has been busy, has been stressful, please share a moment, a short moment, to reflect on the year that George has had. Reflected? His leadership reflects his humanity, and his calm demeanor in times of turbulence reflects his wisdom. In addition to learning to steer the ship that is Quest University Canada, George found the time to connect with faculty, staff, and students alike. I believe this connection is exemplified by the small black squares that are now permanently etched on his left ring finger. This class has clearly left its mark on George. I hope that you can all find ways in which he has left his mark on you. Please let us welcome George to the podium.
Right on. Deanna Lewis, thank you very much. Thank you for your welcome to the Squamish Nation. It's a privilege for all of us at Quest University to live, work, and play on this unceded, traditional, and beautiful territory of the Squamish Nation. I give thanks to the people of the Squamish Nation today, for elders of past. So graduates, alumni, parents, friends, faculty, and staff, two past presidents, and board members, welcome. Welcome to graduation at Quest University 2018. This year is an important one. It also marks the second decade, the start of that, completion of the first 10 years. But when you walk across this stage and become graduates from the graduands that you are, the alumni of Quest University will now then outnumber the students on campus for the first time in our history. You will join a newly minted alumni association with great leadership, and we look forward to increasing our partnership in the future success of this university. So congratulations, first of all, to the parents. You made it. To the supporters, congratulations, congratulations. But especially to the graduates, this day is about you. The formal, structured learning at this wonderful institution, Quest University, has come to an end. All the classes, trips, projects, and yes, even your Keystone are all done. Well done, well done. It's just been a thrill listening to your Keystones and your projects through the years, as it was developing and culminating in the wonderful talks that you gave. Now you're set to experience the kind of learning that only living can give you. I wish you well in that. As Andrew mentioned, this has been my first academic year at Quest, and what a year it's been. It started with adventure pursuits with people like Yinsi and Vazi and Rio at Brome Lake, questioning ourselves, me wondering why my priorities in the world didn't quite match up with what I was passionate about. The kind of inquiry, the kind of breaks that starts to a deep self-examination that's so much, I think, part of the Quest learning experience. And I ended up with Ian giving me my first tattoo. Great, thank you. Where are you, Ian? Thank you. I want to thank you for your patience with me. I had a lot to learn, and you've taught me well. I've met you in the hallways, in the classrooms, and in meetings. You've challenged me, you've taught me, you've inspired me. Your intelligence, your industry, your compassion for others have taught me much. Thank you for that. I know that I'm a better person for having met you. But today is all about you, all about you. But take a moment today to thank those who made all of this support possible and your learning experiences here at Quest a success, both on and off this gorgeous campus. I'd like to thank them too, for without their support, moral, financial, or otherwise, we would never have met. We've thanked the faculty and staff. I'd like to add my personal thanks to the faculty, the staff that work hard every day and give so much of themselves to you. I won't ask you to rise again, but I want to echo my personal thanks to the thanks that have been expressed. They're great. They tell me how you've educated, affected, and changed them. They tell me that this shared experience is what makes Quest so strong, so vibrant. I'll miss you. I'll miss each one of you as you leave us today. Our time together has been all too brief, but you've left a lasting impression on my heart. As you leave Quest and enter this world as dynamic as Quest is, many things await you. Our population has crossed the 7.5 billion in number. People are increasingly moving to and around cities and urban centers more and more every year. The middle class, particularly in developing countries, is exploding, and with that, unprecedented rates of consumption and disposal. Our climate is warming, our oceans are rising, they're becoming more acidic and filled with our wastes. This is making our climate more unpredictable, and unprecedented climatic changes are becoming more commonplace. These changes make uncertain the safety and sustainability of our food and water systems. The growth and importance and prevalence of artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things grow in importance in our lives each year. Most of the jobs that we know, that you know, won't exist 7 to 10 years from now, but new ones will replace them to meet new needs and seize opportunities. But these are just a few of the realities that await you and all of us. My confidence in our future is strengthened because you are entering it with a Quest experience, with a Quest degree. You've learned to question critically, express yourselves clearly, and to have compassion for others. You will be the source of change, the changes we will need to address the challenges before us. You will make discoveries, develop technologies, and creative solutions. Peaceful resolutions to conflict and good governance are in your hands to foster in our world. Follow your hearts. Take chances. Lean into the challenges that face you. Avoid boredom at all costs. Take good care of your friends and treat everything and everyone around you with respect. Do all this while being safe so we can continue for a very long time. Farewell, visit often. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to move to a very special part of this morning's celebration. The title of Emeritus is a recognition bestowed on members of a community who have given distinguished service, usually for some time. The word emeritus has Latin roots, to come from, to earn. It is a special designation that is given to a very few deserving individuals to recognize them for their many and important contributions to an institution, today to our institution, to our university. Today we recognize for the second time in our history a president emeritus. David Strangway, our founder, was recognized this way first. Today it is my pleasure to announce our second president emeritus, Dr. David Helfand. For whom, by the way, the street outside this building is named. I ask now Dr. David Helfand to rise, and for our chair of our Board of Governors, Mary Jo Larson, and our Chancellor, Peter Webster, to bestow this honor. Mary Jo Larson will offer some remarks.
You, the graduating class of 2018, were the last class to begin its quest journey under the leadership of the person we're honoring today, Dr. David Helfand. You are the last class to understand in a deep and personal way the impact David had on Quest. Although David is a renowned astrophysicist, a dazzling storyteller, and an even better chef, what David does better than anyone I know is change lives. I myself am on this stage today because of an article I read in the New York Times about David and the remarkable university he was building in British Columbia, of all places. Little did I know then, sitting in my Michigan kitchen, that not only would my son graduate from that university, but I would add a second nearly full-time job to my life, working to continue the dream that David brought to fruition. What I did know when I read that article was that this man was committed to something real and alive. It was like a huge door swung open, the fresh air blew in, and I wanted to run toward whatever that was on the other side. Every person in this room is the beneficiary of David's work. Without David, Quest would not be here today. Although many people were key to Quest's birth and continuing life since, David stepped up at a critical time and fought with his indomitable spirit to keep Quest true to its vision and to make that vision real. No one has left a greater mark on more lives than David. He not only shaped curriculum, sweated over budgets, and led a lively faculty, he shared his passions with the students and brought everyone at Quest to believe that bringing dreams to life is possible and worth a lifetime's work. For that, David, we are all eternally grateful. No one could deserve more than you the title of President Emeritus. On behalf of the Board of Governors, I am proud and happy to confer upon you the status of President Emeritus, Quest University, Canada.
I didn't know until 5 minutes ago that I was supposed to say anything. May have been an error, Mary Jo, because as you know, I can go on at some length. But I shan't, because this day is not really about me, it's about you. When I got to Columbia 41 years ago, I was delighted to see that unlike all the other American universities in the 1960s, Columbia had not abandoned its core curriculum, or what we call a foundation program here. But I was simultaneously appalled that this curriculum, which was dubbed the intellectual coat of arms of the institution, consisted of 7 humanities courses, 0 science courses, 0 math courses, and 0 social science courses. So it seemed to me not quite complete. And being young and naive, I thought, well, I'll just make up some science courses and then we'll have a full core curriculum. So 27 years later, I succeeded in adding 1 semester to that curriculum. So Columbia's core is now 8 courses, 7 that haven't changed since 1935, and 1 course in science that I teach. The year I accomplished that, I got a call from David Strangway, whom I did not know. And he said, David, I've heard what you've done at Columbia integrating science into a liberal arts curriculum. We're starting a brand new university from scratch, and I want you to come out and talk to us about it. So I did the obvious calculation that in 27 years I'll be dead, so I'll never add another course to Columbia's curriculum. And starting from scratch had a certain appeal, and so I agreed to do that. That is, I agreed to come for 1 day to talk about this institution. And almost precisely 10 years later, I left. It was certainly the most challenging thing I've undertaken in my life, but also, without question, the most rewarding. I'm delighted to be here to share with this last class that I was engaged with this moment, and I thank everyone, particularly my colleagues behind me, and all of you who've expressed faith in this institution by taking the risk of coming here, sending your sons and daughters here, and it has been a transformational experience for me. I hope it's a transformational experience for you, and that you carry it with you for the rest of your life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David, Mary Jo, and George. I have had the great pleasure to get to know our next 2 speakers only throughout the Keystone Block this past month. I regret not knowing them earlier in their degrees, their time here at Quest, because Yassine Nayal and Harriet Ringo are examples of excellence in our student body. Selected by their peers to address this assembly, Yassine completed his Keystone project on neglected tropical diseases, specifically trachoma. Harriet completed her Keystone project on the prevention of infectious disease, specifically tuberculosis. Despite being preventable and virtually unknown in North America and Europe, both of these diseases continue to have devastating effects on the African continent. Perhaps part of the excellence that our student body sees in Yassine and Harriet is evidenced by their chosen paths to eradicate preventable disease, working to help the people in the place they call home. Please welcome Yassine Nayal and Harriet Ringo.
Hello. Thank you so much, Andrew, for introducing us, and thank you, George, for your speech. And it's so good to see you, David. Good morning, everyone, and a special good morning to the graduating class of 2018. We are honored and humbled for giving us a chance to speak and represent you at this esteemed event. We'd like to begin with a story. This is a story of a young African woman named Gemma. Gemma is the first person to graduate with a bachelor's degree in her family. Her hard work has been a key factor for her impressive academic performance that opened doors of opportunities for her to further her education. But behind Gemma's academic achievements is her incredibly encouraging upbringing.
Gemma was raised by parents who never went to university and did not have the privilege to get the education that we did, yet still remain some of the wisest, smartest people we know. It sounds kind of like an oxymoron, right? No education and smart. Kind of like a dry day in Squamish. Or Richard Hoshino's a good basketball player. Or having a short conversation with Darren. Or by far my personal favorite, Varsity Athletics Exists. But when we expand on Gemma's parents' story and their wisdom, you'll understand that there's absolutely nothing oxymoronic about it.
In our culture, these are simple people. Their messages for their daughter were also very simple. Just a number of things they stressed repeatedly.
Number one, Gemma was told over and over again to know who she is. She was told that it is not an easy process and that it will not come overnight. And for all she knows, she might never be able to answer this question. So instead, she was always guided to be aware of who she is not. Kind of like how we're taught here at Quest. Ever since we came here, we've been asked questions like, what is knowledge, and what is life, and what is good, and what is bad? And while our tutors did a great job in never answering these questions, they did an even better job in guiding us to figure out what these things are not. The process of elimination. The process of elimination is essential for us if we truly aspire to come even remotely close to figuring out who we are.
Now, why is this important? What is so wise about Gemma's parents constantly telling her to figure out who she is? If we think about this, we'll see that finding out who we truly are, who we truly want to be, will with no doubt come close to finding out exactly what we want out of our lives, in turn, figure out how we want to live and what we want to achieve. Mark Twain says, the two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. The question of who we are is the question we need to ask ourselves and reflect on every single day. It is even a question that whether we have known or not, that have been answering every single day at this institution.
At Quest, we were told to form academic questions that we would spend 2 years of our studies attempting to answer. These have been so unique and so diverse to every single student, ranging from how can I reinvent the wheel, how can we get rich, how can we effectively eradicate diseases, to questions as specific as what is the nature of olive oil. And while pursuing these academic questions, we of course had our own personal inquiries that we thought about every day. For some people, it was something like, how can I party harder? For others, it was, how can I build bigger muscles? And while these questions might sound so different, they all have one thing in common. They have guided each and every one of us to come closer to figuring out who we are, what we want out of our lives, and how we can apply the education we've received to impact our community and our world. This process is not easy, but it is essential that each and every one of us does not pursuing this process long after we leave this place. The first step to our success is our first step on the hill, but we must first ask ourselves, what's my hill? J. Cole says, the good news is you've come a long way, but the bad news is you went the wrong way. First, find your path, then follow it. Now to Gemma's parents' second message.
Minimize your distractions. First, we define what we want and define success for ourselves. Then we minimize everything that is stopping us from achieving our success. The who's, the where's, the what's, the when's, and the how's that are keeping us from being ourselves. By clearing the haze and keeping who we are in focus, we'll find ourselves spending much less time doing anything that is unhealthy for us, and we'll find value in everything that we are doing in our lives. So find your calling and then live by these 7 words. Only do what only you can do. What Gemma's parents would have said here is that Gemma should not misunderstood that they're emphasizing minimizing distraction does not in any way mean forgetting that you're part of a society. Absolutely not. Above all, they will echo what Maya Angelou will say. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. Remember that now we are done living on top of the hill. Where we're going now is the real world. The world that we have been isolated from for almost 4 years or more. Now remember that everyone you talk to might not have had the privilege that we have had to get such a unique education. Not everyone will be politically aware or socially aware or know what can or cannot be said. But in such moments and situations, it is very crucial for every single one of us to not fall into the self-entitlement trap. It is not our place to educate people or impose our thoughts or ideas on others, simply because we believe we're more educated. On the contrary, it is so much more important to be humble and think about the feelings of others. With our privilege, we are in a world now where we can be anything. So why not be kind?
Why not be kind? Instead of going around educating others, what is so much more effective and considerate is to be responsible of only our own actions and be ambassadors by acting. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, the most famous German author, once said, "Treat others the way they are, and they will stay that way. Treat people the way they can be, and they will become that way. Therefore, don't preach. Act." Act. A word with only 3 letters that, however, holds such a powerful meaning, bringing us to Gemma's parents' third message. Act. They would tell her over and over again how lucky she is to be getting the education that she is receiving. But they would never stop stressing that her education would be useless if she were never to act upon it. This is something that we cannot stress enough here today, especially as international students given the opportunity to speak here. We're at a university where we are taught time and time again about embracing a liberal mindset and the importance of accepting everyone and anyone with no regard to their race, skin color, cultural background, religious affiliation, gender, or sexual orientation. And while we as a student body do a great job in discussing and writing research papers and presenting on how important acceptance is, we still have miles to go to become a truly accepting and liberal university. Not by doing better in class, but by thinking about what we are learning outside of that academic building, by noticing trends of oppression and segregation on campus. Just take a moment, every student here, and think about something as simple as your close group of friends. not people you just know on campus, the people you spend most of your time with. And now ask yourselves these questions. How diverse is that group? How many different ethnicities, cultures, or countries is represented in that group? Pretty surprising, right? Now act. Rise to the occasion. We've been exposed to it in class, and now is our time to go out there and change the world piece by piece by first and foremost changing ourselves the way Gemma's parents taught us to.
Very wise people, right? Now, we'd like to bring to your attention that with us today are Gemma's parents. Here today are among the wisest and smartest people we can all learn from. We decided to reflect on our own lives, growing up in our respective homes, and the story you've heard is an amalgamation of true narratives about our parents and guardians in Egypt and in Tanzania. We believe that these narratives deserve to be shared because they hold invaluable lessons for all of us today. We also acknowledge that not everyone may relate to these stories, and we want to encourage you that you are surrounded by numerous powerful narratives that are willing and are waiting for you to listen, to learn, and to respond with passion. Finally, we'd like to encourage you to think about and remember the words we have shared with you and reflect on them as long as you can. And if you can't remember anything we said, we'd like to leave you with our class quote. I will not have you descend into your own dream. I will have you be a conscious citizen of this terrible and beautiful world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yassine and Harriet. Our next speaker, Dr. Shira Weidenbaum, was also selected by the graduating class here today. Perhaps it is her unending commitment to her students, or her uncanny ability to see a bibliography out of order, or an apostrophe out of place. Whatever it is, the graduating class of 2018 wants to hear more from Shira. For those of you who do not know who Shira is, Shira came to Quest University in 2009 after completing her PhD in French literature at Yale. She teaches French and English literature as well as the French language here at Quest. In my opinion, one of the hallmarks of an extraordinary teacher is the ability to motivate students to read, learn, and do more than they ever thought possible in 3.5 short weeks. All the while loving every moment. I know Shira has this ability, particularly from the student testimonials during one of her courses this year. During many of my short conversations with students, you know those conversations? How are you doing? What block are you in? As if those two things were inextricably linked. There were a shocking number of students during that block that I ran into who replied, "I've never read so much in my life. I'm so tired. Death of an author is awesome!" So with that, please join me in welcoming Dr. Shira Weidenbaum.
I have to compose myself already. Good morning, and thank you, Andrew, for the kind introduction. And a special thanks to the class of 2018 for the honor of speaking to you today. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay. Given all of the brilliant colleagues behind me, you probably could have chosen someone better or funnier, or at least chosen someone who could see over the lectern. My heart is full with the joy of celebrating all that you have accomplished and admiring the many ways that you have grown since I welcomed you as Master of Ceremonies at Convocation 4 years ago. My mind is also full of the many thoughts I wish to give to you, a gift for all the ways you have amazed and challenged me in the past 4 years, for the ways that participating in your journey has brought meaning and value to my life. 2 ideas have guided the selection and preparation of these many thoughts. First, I kept thinking about what I would have wanted to know 2 decades ago, more or less, when I was leaving university. What lessons have I learned, or am I in the process of learning, that I wish I could have gained sooner? I've sadly forgotten all the content of the speeches at my graduation. I don't even remember who spoke. But perhaps there was some wisdom that I just didn't hold on to. I hope that some of what I say today resonates enough for you to remember, and that it helps you feel just a little more ready for the years ahead. Second, I thought about why I really love to teach, and to teach literature in particular. One of the things that brings me immense joy is sharing the things I find beautiful and meaningful, and seeing the happiness that beautiful and meaningful writing brings to others. I like to teach because I love giving literature I love to other people to enjoy. What may have seemed to you like a homework assignment was in fact just an enthusiastic invitation to immerse yourself in something beautiful. The poem I am about to share with you is one that I have held close for over half my life. One that I memorized years ago so that I could carry it and access it anywhere, anytime. The poem has no title, but is the last sonnet of a collection entitled Sonnets to Orpheus by Rainer Maria Rilke. Orpheus is a mortal musician in Greek mythology who passes into the underworld in order to reclaim his beloved Eurydice. A traditional reading of this sonnet might consider how it closes the collection and weaves together themes of life, death, and memory. But today, as we read the poem stanza by stanza, I think we can find meaning for our time right here, messages for how to be and act in this world, and some wisdom I wish I'd received when I finished university. So the thing that I most want to share, most want to give you, is this poem. And, well, one last exercise in close reading. Stiller Freund der vielen Fernen fühle, wie dein Atem noch den Raum vermehrt. Im Gebälk der finstern Glockenstühle lass dich läuten. Far away friend, silent, tranquil, feel how your breath still expands the space in the dark bell tower. Let yourself ring out. This poem gently calls to a friend who no longer shares the same space as the poet. With one small word, noch, or still, the poem announces its nostalgia. We don't know much about the faraway friend that the poem addresses, But the friend's presence remains, and I always have the feeling that it addresses me as well, that it tightly connects me and you. In other words, this faraway friend doesn't feel that distant, especially not if the friend's breath is so vast as to expand space and fill a bell tower with sound. This first stanza suggests a mixing between absence and presence, or rather that someone absent can still be present. The verbs are in the present, your breath expands, and in the imperative, feel, let, the command form of a verb that is also, in its incompletion, a way to keep time suspended. In blurring the lines of past and present, and absence and presence, there is a sense of continuity. I hope there is some comfort, then, in these lines, not just for the soft whispers of the F, stiller Freund der vielen Fernen, but in the reassurance that deep connections last. The friendships and communities formed here do not disappear when we leave a place. We can re-access the experiences because we have lived them. The poem thus begins in a quietly hopeful place, a reassuring space of nostalgia, of reconnection to the people and places that make us whole. When I was graduating, it was hard to know how I would stay connected, or how important that connection would be. I would have liked to tell my younger self, and so I tell you today, that this is no ending. Once you have been at Quest, you will always be here. Not just in the keystones that you have left in our library. Your participation in classes, your conversations during office hours, the questions you have raised, the connections you have drawn from one discipline to another, they have all pushed me to think differently, both about the subjects I teach and the manner in which I teach them. I can only imagine how this effect is multiplied when we account for the many other tutors and classmates and friends with whom you worked and played. In all these interactions, you changed us, and in this way, you will always be at Quest. I trust that in some way, we too will always be with you, defying time and space through enduring connection. I didn't quite finish the first stanza, but left half a line to join the second stanza now. Perhaps that's just another way that the poem suggests continuity by disrupting the neat breaks in the structure. So let us continue. Das, was an dir zerrt, wird ein starkes über dieser Nahrung, je in der Verwandlung aus und ein. Was ist deine leidendste Erfahrung? Ist dir Trinken bitter, werde Wein. That which nags and nibbles at you becomes a strength through this nourishment. Wander in and out of transformation. What is your most painful experience? If you find drinking bitter, become wine. This stanza speaks to the strength and sweetness that come out of suffering and difficult transformations. But I can never read these lines without a previous misreading in mind, whose meaning sticks to the poem despite my improved knowledge of German. It concerns the word Verwandlung, which is commonly translated as transformation. But to my Anglophone ears, I always hear an echo of wandering. The sonority of Wandlung, change, is so close to wandern, the German word for roaming, hiking, and wandering. The prefix ver in Verwandlung can, among other things, indicate getting something wrong. So when I put all that together in my mind, I end up thinking that the line is about getting lost, and I imagine a winding path from which one may stray further. Even though this collapse of wandering and transformation is technically a misreading, please indulge me. After all, we've all had our moments of misreading, And from some theoretical perspectives, those misreadings are just as much a part of the text as the words on the page. More importantly, this verse evokes for me something that I wish I had figured out much sooner. Getting lost, wandering about is part of the transformation. Some of you know exactly where you're going next and have a clear sense of where you'd like to be in 5 years, while others might just be hoping that in 5 years you'll know where you're going next. Some of you may have wandered a bit before Quest or through Quest, while others have been taking a very straight route ever since kindergarten. The thing I wish I had understood long ago is that the path is yours and no one else's. There is no such thing as a right or a wrong path. There is just the path you need. Even better, there is no right timeline to go along with this path. Through childhood and adolescence and a little while longer into one's 20s, achievements are often lauded not just because they are praiseworthy, but because the person is so young. We get points not just for what we do, but for precociousness. And here's a little bit of not necessarily bad news about becoming an adult. It starts to matter so much less how quickly you arrive somewhere, how young or old you are. I suppose eventually you start to get credit again for doing things when you're old. I think about the 90-year-old competitive swimmers I admire. But we're not there yet. The freedom of our path and our timing should come as a relief. But I also know that it can be bewildering to leave a setting where goals and trajectories have been structured for you. I think you may all be in better shape, though, than I was upon graduation. After all, you've been through the existential crises of question block. You've had to decide on a keystone project. Even if we've offered some guidelines, you've had to make a lot of your own decisions along the way and plot your own path through Quest. Of course, you've also been required to do some things that might have been less pleasant. A little painful, a little bitter. Perhaps it was Q skills or taking that French class. Between the foundation and concentration years, you've had some practice, both in finding strength in the difficult required experiences and in finding your way through the wandering that you have to do for yourself, the transformations that couldn't happen if we identified a path too clearly. Let us wander further into the poem, into the darkest and most mysterious verses. Sei in dieser Nacht aus Übermaß Zauberkraft am Kreuzweg deiner Sinne, ihrer seltsamen Begegnung Sinn. In this night, from excess, be magic at the crossroads of your senses. Be the sense in their unusual encounter. I've mixed up the order of the words a lot in my translation. Despite years of living with them, I'm still not exactly sure how to parse these 3 verses. Unlike the other stanzas where we can figure out the sentence structure, the command sei, be, starts the stanza, but everything else that follows is an accumulation of not very concrete nouns. Night, excess, magic, crossroads, senses, encounter, sense. How do these terms connect with just that one small verb at the beginning? The syntax of the stanza reinforces an atmosphere of darkness, of confusion. Not only is it nighttime, but your senses perhaps conflict with one another in their odd encounter. To make sense from all of this requires a bit of magic. I think the magic comes in part from the excess, which I would connect back to the expansiveness of this faraway friend's breath. But what really matters here is the way this stanza culminates in that singular word, Sinn, sense, as in something makes sense. I'd like to condense the whole passage in my mind into Sei Sinn, be sense. The stanza then ends so neatly, as if something has been resolved after all the confusion of the middle. And yet again, I'd like to suggest that there is an important life lesson here. One I'm fairly certain you've learned well at Quest, but I'm happy to highlight just to make sure you really hold on to it. In dark and confusing moments, transformations and breakthroughs are possible. I'm pretty sure you know this after conversations just recently with a group of students in Keystone. As you recalled important moments from your years at Quest, there emerged a theme of the many times you had struggled through an assignment, felt lost or frustrated for most of a block. And what you remembered was the excitement of discovery and achievement on the other end, the feeling that you'd really done something, gotten somewhere. The difficulty of the process accentuated the glorious feeling of the result. This lesson in trust and persistence is so simple to understand when we're on the other side of the challenge. Of course we see that the hard work was worth it. But the reason that this lesson is so important to hold on to is that when things get tough and when we're in the middle of the confusing darkness, uncertain about our chances of ever getting out, the frustration and the stress may not seem worth it. Sometimes things just don't work out, and the confusing darkness of our own disappointment and sadness might feel unending. It becomes very hard to trust that things will not just get better, but that the better on the other side is an improvement, not only in comparison to the dark period, but in comparison to where you were before. You have learned something, you've gone in a different direction, something has occurred you'd never have foreseen. It is taking me a very long time to learn this, and I keep forgetting it. But I feel certain of its truth on a small and large scale. On the small scale, for example, while I was living in Paris a few years ago, I often found that the days would just not go as I had planned. I'd miss a bus. There would be a strike. A store would be closed. They needed another form of identity. There would be days when I thought I was getting nothing done. But then I would end up meeting someone, seeing something wondrous and new, hearing a great street musician, seeing a dog walk another dog. It's true. All of this because I was in a different place at a different time. I could look back over the day and realize that the thing that had made me the happiest had only happened because of the strange sequence of prior events. On a large scale, I have been through periods of depression, and I have had whole years when I wasn't sure I would ever thrive at Quest, that I would ever get the trick of teaching here. And frankly, it was rough. And then gradually, things got better. I found my footing in the classroom. I designed courses I liked, that students liked. I started to feel as though I perhaps belonged. I know that the hard experiences have made me more compassionate and empathetic and helped me learn a lot about myself. I'm not saying that it wouldn't have been nice to have an easier and shorter transition, and I am definitely not saying that I wish for anyone difficulties just for the sake of them. But I'm grateful that retrospectively, I can see how this was part of the wandering that just happens to be my path. Because now when things get difficult, I can ask with a little more openness and curiosity, what am I going to learn from this? What surprise awaits me when I find my way again? I can't transmit my trust in the universe to anyone else. It's a matter of individual belief, born of individual experience. but I know that you too have had experiences that can give you hope when you need it. We're at the last stanza, my favorite, and the reason I first attached myself to this poem. Und wenn dich das Irdische vergaß, zu der stillen Erde sag, ich rinne, zu dem raschen Wasser sprich, ich bin. And when all worldly things have forgotten you, to the unmoving earth say, I flow. To the rushing water speak, I am. It was the beauty of the parallel declarations of existence, I flow, I am, and their contrast with earth and water, the simplicity of the final statement that have all haunted me from the very first time I read this poem. In contrast to the previous stanza, this one has always made a great deal of sense to me and pulls the poem together into a single message of self-affirmation and resilience. Hinted at elsewhere in the sonnet, the theme of asserting one's presence in the world comes through clearly here at the end. And this assertion matters most when we feel forgotten. As in the vastness of the bell tower where you let yourself ring out, or in the darkness of the night where the magic of your mind is transformative. In the moments of loneliness, let us count on ourselves and be bold. Let us trust that we contain the strength necessary to resist and act when the world around us is silent and passive. Let us trust that we have the capacity to hold steady when things around us move too fast or flow in a direction in which we don't wish to go. There is still so much more to say about this poem, but I hope that I've given you a taste of its beauty, a little gift to take with you, to reread and reinterpret along your many paths. And I've made handouts, hard copies for all of you that Brad will give you as you cross the stage. So I leave you with just one more observation. The poem ends not with action, I flow, but with the pure presence, I am. Existing seems just a bit more important than anything else. You have done so much in 4 years. You do so much for one another. Your constant activity is inspiring, impressive, and sometimes exhausting. But it is far too easy to fall into the trap of thinking that we matter because we do, not because we are. Today, we are here to celebrate what you've done, your achievements, your completion of a large endeavor. But without diminishing that at all, I would like to thank you for being in my life, for being in the life of this university. So go boldly into the transformations ahead and let your being ring out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shira. We would now like to recognize a part of the academic excellence that our student body has demonstrated throughout their time here at Quest by listing the distinction awards for 2018. In these awards, we recognize students' projects for their academic merit. In the following list, I will list the student's name, the title of their Keystone project, and then I will say a few words from their mentors. Jordy Akers. Motivational crowding and success in payments for ecosystem service schemes, a global systematic review. In terms of scope and ambition, this is a huge project. By integrating economics and psychology into conservation, it is a novel contribution that works towards a more socially just and effective conservation. It is closer to publication stage than any other Keystone I have ever supervised. Bobby Anderson, mapping resilience, patterns of marginalization amongst at-risk women living in the Sea to Sky corridor. Her Keystone is an analytically rigorous, novel contribution to local understandings of vulnerability. It is an exceptional piece of work and easily distinction-worthy. Hadley Bates, consuming albino. I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly. Housing displacement and imagined urban progress in Portland, Oregon. Hadley has spent the last year conducting original, qualitative research into the dynamics of gentrification, whiteness, and racialized spatial inequality. This is one of the strongest projects I have seen from a Quest student in my 5 years. Elijah Cetas, The Wavering Core, Philosophy, Imagery, and the Problem of Unity in Tolstoy's War and Peace. Elijah's Keystone essay is brilliant. It's the best interpretation of the book that I have read. And by that I mean the subtlest, most sensitive, most wide-ranging, and most profound. Caitlin Main, Articulating the Unspeakable, theatrically in The 448 Psychosis by Sarah Kane. Caitlin's Keystone, a theater production of Sarah Kane's play 448 Psychosis, was an emotional triumph. As the producer, director, and the main actor of the play, Caitlin took a difficult, bare text script about mental health issue into a context and extraordinarily moving performance. It is one of the most touching theater productions I have ever experienced. Sophie McGregor, bioincorporating a synthetic amino acid into green fluorescence protein. Sophie demonstrated tenacity, creativity, problem solving, and an unwavering commitment to working carefully, rigorously, and thoroughly. Sophie's Keystone document itself is exceptionally well done, reflecting her attention to detail and her passion for her work. Hannah Mentro, Presence, Absence, and Distance, translators as readers in Rilke's work. Hannah's written work is the result of a ton of very close reading and minute comparison of many texts. Hannah has considered literary theory, literary history, and translation themes, as well as the works of Rilke in both German and English. She has been meticulous in all aspects of this project, from the research through to the final draft. Sawyer Plato, upregulating memory, research into RNA binding motif protein 3's role, mouthful, in synaptic translation. Sawyer's Keystone provides not only the excruciating details of his experiments, but also provides a vivid introduction to why this work is important to the non-expert. it is easily a project that could be the basis of a master's degree. Emma Taylor, redirecting the spotlight, reinterpreting the life and works of Frida Kahlo. Emma enters into the ongoing conversation about an influential painter, reviews the scholarship and theory of the art in depth, delves into the fine points of the method of visual analysis, and makes a truly original contribution to the field. Sophia Vartanian, a clash of civilizations, France, Islam, and the far right. The subtle interplay of these areas is explored in exhaustive detail, and the development of her thesis unfolds in a very compelling way. The essay exemplifies her usual excellent work and is equivalent to a first-class master's thesis. I'd like to take a moment to thank all of the students who have worked so hard to produce academic work, to ask questions, and to answer them, attempt to answer them in a rigorous and thoughtful manner. Thank you very much, class of 2018. And now I feel we move on to the core of why we are here. The presentation of the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts and Science. I welcome to the stage our interim CAO, Dr. Doug Monroe.
Chancellor Webster, as Chief Academic Officer of Quest University Canada, it is my great honor to present to you the candidates for this year's Bachelor of Liberal Arts and Science. Kimi Abu-Dajaba. Arlette Akenjie. Nicholas Allen. Pepe Amodio. Bobby Anderson. Elena Johanna Annette. Maria Jose Araujo. Ian Baldwin. Siobhan Berry. Hadley Savannah Bates. Hannah Bauer. Kate Benner. Elliot Block. Aiden Bradfield. Sasha Broadwater. Bak Ha Bui. Jordan Bultitude. Lauren Emily Byrne. Cameron Carrick. Parker Carruthers. Elijah Rempe Citas. Kelsey Chamberlain. Elizabeth Chasmer. Samuel Alexander Appel Kernard. Sky D'Angelo. Dan de Hoof. Ross Denny Giles. Simon Digby. Mark Dodsworth. Lucio Doglione Mager. Savannah Dumler. Fanny Dunner. Sean Peter Eaton. Jordan Ewing. Sydney Furshing. Devin Francis. Elizabeth Francis. Ellie Fraser. Cameron Friend. Leah Gasparovic. Theo Gescher. Lucy Mativier Granger. Ellie Grant. Ian Greer. Federico Gus. Susanna Lee Guthrie. Evan Guy. Catherine Hale. Nat Harvey. Henry Michael Heinzman. Elsa Margareta Fraser Hill. Morgan Elizabeth Hillis. Hunter Hopkins. William Hoy. Koa In. Bailey James. Samantha Ashley Johnson. Henry Jokala. Anya Kazanjian. John Kern. Graham King. Gregory Knights. Bryn Cohen. Deanna Cronenberg. Shahil Lal. Lina Lamontagne Dupuis. Emma Lamperson. Rivka Landsberg. Graham Lee Rowlands. Theodore Lorenz. Caitlin Main. Nicole Eliza Virginia Marengo. Madeline Martin. Emily McBride. Kavanaugh McGeough. Sophia McGregor. Andrew McKean. Joe Sway McKernan. Harrison S. McNeil. Hannah Sharon Mendrow. Isaac Menenga. Kai Gary Edward Michael Michael. Ravneet Minhas. Farah Musa. Holly Mueller. Izzy Mum. Stefan Navarrete. Yassine Amr Nayel. Cameron Nielsen. Galen Noble Katz. Signe Elsa Amanda Nord. Owen Osborne. Talia Palmer Rubin. Hannah Parshat. Pimpira Pettibone. Abby Piazza. Mary Hay Piggott. Nice try. Sawyer Plato. Olivia May Plunkett. Celia Claire Pratt. Vikram Puri. Gabriel Raposo. Miranda Raven. Madeline Reed. Adam Rezka. Lucina Reed. Fernanda Renteria Coronado. Caitlin Richardson. Harriet Heriel Ringo. Alana Ryan. Marina Salerno Collins. Alicia Saunders. Galen Sheedleweb. Owen Scholes. Danielle Smith. Shayla Sopracole Tate. Joshua Stevenson. Wyatt Lane Stevens. Liza Stoner. Rachel Searchin. Bronwyn Taylor. Emma Faith Taylor. Henry Clay Tennis. Isabella Olaf Thorstensdottir. Raoul Tillieu. Ariel Van Brummelen. Jonathan Van Noot. Francesca Van Soest. Sophia Vartanian. Eliška Vavrova. Marcela Jordao Velassa. Annika Watson. Shay Michelle Watson. Maris Winters. Tristan Wood. Anna Louisa Yarrington. Mr. President, Mr. Chancellor, I present to you Quest University Canada's class of 2018.
Now, just to make it all legal, I, Peter Webster, by the authority invested in me as Chancellor of our university, confer the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Sciences to all the graduates who have met the requirements of that degree, both present as well as those who could not be with us today. Congratulations. Special guests, graduating students, ladies and gentlemen all, I am pleased to be here with you today to share this special occasion with you. Today is a day for pats on the back, handshakes and hugs, great praise and congratulatory wishes. These gestures are rightly deserved by the students graduating today. I say to you all, graduates, you have achieved something worth acknowledging. You've accomplished something significant. You have earned something special. I want to take a few moments to try and paint a picture of the gift you've earned by being part of this Quest University experience. We all receive gifts here at Quest because all of us are part of a quest for life. We have all agreed to gather at this small campus in this very beautiful setting in a wonderful part of the world. Students, faculty, staff, board members, and parents have all committed to the ongoing, the going down a relatively short path in life's quest to collectively strive for something better than we all know and enjoy today. There are some shared high ideals that we are striving for: a more informed, more equitable, and more environmentally sustainable world. We see this place as one committed to pursuing knowledge without boundaries, investigating different cultures and ways of knowing, practicing informed, evidence-based questioning. All of these commitments are made for one purpose: to inspire curious minds to develop their own questions in the response to complex problems and global issues, to encourage independent thinking, to share, collaborate, and continually discover. But why? Why do all of us on this quest make such a commitment? The answer to that question is very simple. It's all about making a meaningful impact on people's lives. the environment, and the society through ethical engagement and the communication of evidence-based knowledge. It's all about that gift we all share. Your education at Quest is a gift. It's a gift to you with the hope that you'll become a true citizen and make a meaningful impact on the lives of others. It's a gift with the hope that you will leave this place and move forward with purpose in your life. It is the belief that you will actually help change the world for the better. You have been given this gift, and yes, you've earned it through your hard work and determination, but it is still a gift. Your time here, your experience here, your growth here, and the knowledge and skills and the confidence you've acquired here are gifts. When we receive these gifts, we don't reciprocate and return the goodness. It is not a rule or even an automatic response for all. But let me tell you that if you feel really good if you do it right. Giving back, reciprocating, acknowledging your privilege to have received this special gift will bring you more gifts for your life, for yourself in life. I want to suggest to you that your act of giving will bring the greatest gift you can ever imagine. The happiness of meaning, the belonging, being part of something bigger than yourself. That is the true meaning of citizenship. I congratulate you today on your accomplishments and your achievements of being graduating from Quest University. And I encourage you to embrace your gift and become engaged citizens to make this world a better place. Thank you for choosing Quest.
Thank you, Peter. Now that this class of 2018 from Quest University has passed from Quest University students to Quest University alumni, it is only fitting that we hear from the president of the Quest University Alumni Association. Brad Cleese graduated from Quest in 2013. He has since worked in Armenia and completed his master's degree in international studies from Simon Fraser University. Please welcome Brad to the podium.
Hi, everyone. It's so great to be back, and it's really an honor and a pleasure to get to address everybody today before you walk out these doors and begin your journey as Quest alumni. I'll be quick because I know you're excited about that. It's especially exciting to be up here on stage with so many amazing Quest faculty, many of whom I took classes with when I was a student, and who I still look up to as role models and mentors. The Quest University Canada Alumni Association was formed in September of 2017, and as George mentioned, with you joining our ranks, for the first time, the alumni community is larger than the enrolled student body. This is really a historic moment for any institution. But I will admit that there's also a real personal significance to this graduation as well. There are many students in front of me, Harriet and Yassine included, who were among the first interviews that I did and the first students that I welcomed at the airport when I worked with the admissions team after graduation in 2013. It's been a real pleasure to be a part of so many Quest beginnings, and it's a real privilege to be a part of ushering you into a new community, the Quest alumni community. So formally, the Alumni Association is here to fulfill two roles. First, through networking, career guidance, and advocacy, we work to support alumni on their unique paths to fulfilling and impactful lives and careers, however that unfolds. Second, we are the conduit between the alumni community and the institution, representing alumni interests while providing the university with a clear channel of communication to their graduates. And our first year has been a big one, working to reconnect a community of alumni that have been so successful despite the lack of any formal support networks or advocates. I think we have some things to celebrate, though. We've worked with the board to smooth the way for the first alumni governor, and just recently we presented 3 phenomenal candidates for their review. Today we also launch a campaign to begin building an alumni endowment that will grow to eventually provide scholarships to Quest students. So as the only speaker today who is sat where you are sitting now, just moments away from walking out into your Quest alumni life, you might think I'm uniquely qualified to give you some tips and tricks for navigating what comes next. But I'm here as a representative of a community that is certainly not a monolith, the alumni community, so it would be a mistake to try and speak on behalf of all of them. I also know from my own Quest experience that you will forget everything I say. So I'm going to leave you with one thought that I think all alumni can agree on, and that is, by virtue of you being here today, it's a sign that you have put in the work, all sorts of work, and I am proud of you. Know that the alumni community, really nearby and really far away, are also very proud of you. And you too deserve to be proud of yourself, no matter how you're feeling about everything else that's going on right now. To formally welcome you into the alumni community, I'd like to invite graduates and parents up to join us on the cafeteria patio for an alumni reception. Now that you are alumni, you are being received into the alumni community. We discussed this yesterday. That will take place after the procession out and some photos on the field. This is a chance to mingle with other alumni, to enjoy the Squamish sunshine. We really hope to see you there. So to all alumni, congratulations. We welcome you with open arms.
Thank you, Brad. As this morning's ceremony comes to an end, it has been my honor to be a small part of this day for each of you. For many of you, it has now been approximately 1,932,660 minutes since you were first posed the question, what is knowledge? And I would like to leave you with 4 short words that have helped me through my life. Live your life intentionally. Please remain in your seats until the faculty have recessed. Following the recessional, please join us outside so that together we can celebrate the class of 2018. Please rise for the recessional. That way.
Thank you.